The second season of the PBA League is underway. 8 star-studded teams owned by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. Today, Bill O'Neill and the Philadelphia Hitmen, owned by actor-comedian Kevin Hart, take on Lamar Woodley's Pittsburgh Jackrabbits and franchise player Oscar Palermo in a format that features singles, doubles, trios, and 5-on-5 team play. It's an all-or-nothing battle on the road to the Elias Cup Final. The winner advances, the loser goes home, and it starts right now on ESPN. Yeah! The PBA League is in session. Welcome to Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. The Pittsburgh Jackrabbits take on the Philadelphia Hitmen in our quarter-final matchup of the PBA League. Singles, doubles, trios, and team competition. The winner will advance to face the Silver Lake Atom Splitters in the semifinals. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. The third member of our broadcast team is Kimberly Pressler, who is laneside with our 2 managers. Kimberly.
Thanks, Mike. Tim, you've got a lot of coaching experience internationally. You coached the Bahrain team for the World Series bowling a few years ago. How does that apply here today in helping with your team? Well,
I've been in a team environment my whole life, and I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of international coaching in the last couple of years. And I think I've got the right team in place, and we're going to rally the troops. And it's all about one goal, and it's win together. And if we play well, we'll win together.
So is that your prediction? You're going to win today?
We didn't come here to lose.
Well, in order for that prediction to come through, you are going to have to go through the Hitmen and their coach, their manager here, Jason Couch. So, Jason, you have a Hall of Fame career here in the PBA. What is your mindset bowling individually and transferring that into coaching a team?
Well, when I found out that I was going to get a manager position, I was absolutely thrilled because I really like to bond with the guys, and I absolutely picked the best team. I think Timmy's really wrong there, and my guys are young and strong, and we're going to prove to everybody today that Philly is #1.
So that's your prediction then?
Yes, ma'am. We will win and win handily.
Oh, well, then there you have it. I guess we're going to see what happens. Guys, back to you.
A Keystone State Final, and here's the PBA League format. Our franchise players will do battle in a singles game for 1 point, doubles in alternate shot format for 1 point. 3 players will team up in trios for 1 point, and then the 5-player Baker team game for 3 points. 1-ball roll-off if we have a tie. Let's get started with our singles game for 1 point. Franchise player Oscar Palermo for the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits. Strike, and Pittsburgh is on the board.
And a nice way to start the singles competition. Always features the franchise players, although the last time we saw a singles competition, Norm Duke actually pulled himself out of the competition and put in a sub.
Franchise player for the Philadelphia Hitmen, owned by Kevin Hart, 6-time member of Team USA, Bill O'Neill. Ooh, and he rings a 10.
Pretty good pitch here by Bill O'Neill. Just leaving the ringing 10, but ball in the pocket nonetheless. This pair of lanes, the right lane tends to hook a little bit more than the left as you take a look at the roster. O'Neill putting together quite a nice team with Mike Devaney, Ryan Simonelli, Dan McClellan, Josh Blanchard. Josh picked up after he was dropped by the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. But Bill O'Neill also lost Mika Koivuniemi and Chris Loschetter to free agency.
Plenty of team experience for O'Neill. He was a 3-time collegiate bowler of the year at Saginaw Valley State, producing some great names over the years. Now O'Neill for Philadelphia, second frame. And 10-pin stands.
Back-to-back 10 pins for Bill O'Neill. The first one was a ringing 10. This is a flat 10. See him playing just to the right of third arrow.
Two spares on the board for Philadelphia. Back over to franchise player Asku Palermo, 2006 national champion for Finland, a member of Team Finland for the better part of a decade. That ball comes up high, 3-4-7 split.
In a lot of comparisons between Jason Belmonte and Asku Palermo, the two-handed specialists out here on tour. I think the biggest difference is Jason Belmonte's got a lot more tricks. I think he makes better shots. His balance is better at the foul line. I think if Asku were to get into that same category, he needs to really work on kind of toning it down a bit. He's really a freak of nature in terms of an athlete, a very athletic guy, very strong guy. And I think at times he tends to just overthrow and overpower the lanes.
And there's the father of the modern power game. Hall of Famer Mark Roth joins us. His name is on the MVP trophy for the PBA League, which will be awarded after our champion is crowned. Similar ball path, different split, the 3, the 6, the 7, and the 10.
And you can see just how violent the ball comes off the end of the oil pattern. This time right through the face, leaving the 3, 6, 7, 10, and he'll try to get the ball to the right side of the 3-pin and throw it over into the 7 and try to avoid back-to-back open frames.
Pittsburgh Jackrabbits, owned by Lamar Woodley and managed by Tim Mack, Palermo, Larson, Allen, with Ronnie Russell and Eugene McCune. Back-to-back open frames for the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits. Bowling on the 42-foot PBA League lane condition, Randy, tinted blue.
Early on, the players try to go as straight as they can, just left of second arrow, and then as the oil pattern breaks down, they'll migrate to the center part of the lane. The longer the players can stay to the right, the longer the oil pattern will hold up and afford good scores.
We'll keep our eyes on that and watch for transition and ball path. O'Neal buries it in the pocket. And a lead here, early singles match. 1 point in our PBA League quarterfinal. Doubles coming up next.
Three shots for O'Neal, all three in the pocket. That time he finally gets the 10-pin out.
O'Neal, a 4-time winner on the PBA Tour. Heading up the team now as Philadelphia toes the line here. 4th frame in our singles game. Double for Philly and O'Neal.
And just a great shot by Bill O'Neal. In fact, all 4 shots pretty darn good. There's the style, the more conventional type of player. I think Bill O'Neal is one of the few players left on the tour, along with Chris Barnes. It's a little more conventional, not that real high rev guy that still gets it done on the PBA Tour.
So Palermo with a strike on the board and trying to cut into the O'Neal lead here in singles. Struck back in the first and then back-to-back open. So now Palermo with an opportunity for his first double. And a 7 in the last to fall double. So Palermo, after back-to-back opens, Randy, recovers with 2 quality shots.
Yeah, much better shots. He was much more balanced on those 2 shots, and obviously the result's much better.
Bill O'Neal and the Philadelphia Hitmen, plus 25 here, entering the 5th frame. O'Neal working on a double. Struck back here in the 3rd. Through the blue oil. And a 6-pin the last to fall, just a tad high.
Bill O'Neal is locked in, making great shots, and that's 3 in a row. Right over 3rd arrow, nice and direct. Pretty shot there.
And O'Neal continues to string his strikes, and he opens up a lead for Philadelphia in our singles. 1 point on the line. O'Neal and Philadelphia in control, but Osku Palermo is back online. Conclusion of our singles game right after this. PBA League quarterfinals continues at Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. The Pittsburgh Jackrabbits and the Philadelphia Hitmen. Ebonite, flashback time.
Well, back in 2011, Osku Palermo got some nice breaks en route to winning his first ever major. Here's the clincher right here. What a beautiful shot that was. And what a beautiful picture that is. Then in 2012, the Cheetah Championship, it was all O'Neal rolling the 10. We've already seen a little bit of this already today, but Bill O'Neal was rock solid, and a nice tribute to one of our fallen heroes and PBA players, Tony Reyes.
Neither of these players could be described as overly talkative. At least that's what we thought until we asked Osku about being so quiet, but he assured us that there are times when you simply can't shut him up.
Osku said you can't shut him up? Yeah, I've been around Osku for probably 7 or 8 years, and he says about 1 word a year. So just to even out off the camera, he's a quiet guy. But he's a guy that's actually fun to be around. We can, joke around with him, and he's got a pretty good heart.
Getting to know Palermo too. He's a prankster and impish, if you will. He's got a great sense of humor.
He does. He's a really good guy too. He is quiet, but once you get to know Osku, he's a great guy and very funny.
Trying to jump into that Philly lead. Palermo up in the 6th, and he drills it back. So now Palermo's lined up after a couple of open frames early here. Singles for 1 point.
There you go. There's that two-handed style and power. And very well balanced again on that shot. The problem is he's dug himself a 35-pin deficit with those back-to-back splits in the 2nd and 3rd frame. I'm not sure O'Neal is going to let up. Beautiful.
Strike for Pittsburgh and Palermo, and the lead is cut to 25 pins here in the 7th frame.
Osku using 2 different balls because the right line hooks more than the left, but there's that delivery. Lots of power, lots of torque. The pins really don't stand a chance when that ball enters the 1-3 pocket.
Both players on 4-baggers now. O'Neal, 7th frame. 10-pin.
And it looked like he got it in. Just a pinch, which makes the ball scoot down the lane just a fraction longer and coming in late, leaving the ringing 10. Watch this. Maybe just a board left the target. You see how it pushes just a little bit longer? That's what creates that ringing 10-pin.
Spare for Bill O'Neal and the Philadelphia Hitmen. 1 point in this singles game. Doubles and trios coming next, a point apiece. Our 5-player team Baker game will carry 3 points. And now O'Neal with that 10-pin has given a Palermo an opportunity. Still on the string of strikes. O'Neal working now in the 8th frame.
Wow. It's good stuff there. Bill O'Neal's flushed every single ball. He has 5 strikes for 8 frames and 3 10-pins. Remember, I talked about the left lane being a little slicker, and you could see the ball track for O'Neal just slightly right of 3rd arrow, whereas on the left lane, he's just slightly left of 3rd arrow.
Key shot in the match here. 8th frame for Palermo with a couple strikes can cut the lead to single pins. Palermo catches a break and a strike.
Well, this is why you put power on a bowling ball, and Check out this pin action. I mean, there's stuff flying everywhere.
Messenger comes and takes care of the 10. Now Palermo first to toe the line here in the foundation frame, can cut the lead of Philadelphia to just single pins, 1 point on the line, 9th frame. Just a bit high, 4-pin.
Looked like he got it just a hair right, caught the friction and went high. He really wanted that because that sets up the 10th frame for him, and it would have cut the lead to 4. With a spare here, his max score now 223. Bill O'Neill's already in the high 220s.
Now the advantage shifting back to Philly on the lead. And a chance for O'Neill to increase that lead. 9th frame.
No way.
Oh my, 7-10 split. So Palermo fails to take advantage in the 9th, but now this bad break.
You see that ball just left the 3rd arrow. Terrible break. Bill O'Neill needs to get one. Remember, only 3 7-10s ever made on television.
And the pins jump here, always an opportunity, but open frame for O'Neill, and the lead is down to 3 pins as we enter the 10th.
He needs a double and 8 to shut out Osku.
Perfect shot on the left lane for O'Neill. One more, and then he'll have a chance to shut out Pittsburgh.
Well, if Bill O'Neill does strike out, he'll shoot 226, and it's probably one of the best 226 games you'll ever see. 3 10 pins, a blower 7-10 in the 9th. Everything else strikes. I mean, this game could have been 270 very easily.
Just a tad high, so the door open. Palermo can now perform in the 10th and steal the point.
If you're Bill O'Neill, you got to feel like you've been getting kicked in the gut repeatedly in this game. 2-16 with a spare, and he never missed the pocket. Flushed every ball. Solid 9, pocket 7-10. And that doesn't matter, missing the 9-pin, because Palermo's still behind in count. Palermo still needs a double. He would have needed a double even if O'Neill covered the 9-pin.
So Pittsburgh and Palermo still in it. 2 strikes in the 10th and some change will steal the point for Pittsburgh. 10th frame. Oh, 10-pin. And Philly hangs on and goes up 1-0. Manager Tim Mack going to the bullpen here.
Hey, you know, that's almost a little poetic justice right there. I mean, as good as Bill O'Neill bowled, I mean, it was a great shot by Palermo, don't get me wrong, but after what happened to O'Neill. Bringing in a sub to throw this fill shot, Eugene McCune.
Open substitutions across. Once the player's in, he stays, but here at the late stages, just getting a look at the TV pair, and Philadelphia takes the first point. We'll return for doubles for another point. PBA League is in session on ESPN. O'Neill gets the job done, takes the first point, first tally on the board. Our doubles is coming next.